So let's talk about some other question. How to prepare? So this is not interview question. I'm talking in general. How to prepare for something which we have not done, right? So there may be a case that interviewer is asking something which you have not done. So it's fine. There may be two situations. You have half knowledge about it, no knowledge, right? Or full knowledge, or a knowledge up to good level, right? So if you have not done about it, but you have knowledge, let's say you are not doing it, but you have knowledge, then explain it, whatever you know. If you have half knowledge, it's better not to say anything, right? The thing is, half knowledge will, will be what we say dangerous when you are answering something, right? So it's better consider it as no knowledge, right? So half and basic knowledge are two different things. Okay. So I'm not saying you don't have knowledge. The thing is, um, when you know something, so basic is a different thing. So basic knowledge, if you have, you can mention that, okay, I know this thing, the basic part of it, it's like this, right? And if you don't have any knowledge, it's fine. You can say that I don't know this part. It's like this. Okay. But question is how to prepare. So answer is do it. So for example, you don't know about API testing. So I'm saying learn it. Okay. Now, thank you email. Should we send it? No, no, not really. It's not required. Generally, HR or they don't check this kind of mail, right? So the thing is, they got thousands of mail, right? So they are not interested in checking your thank you email, right? So if you think that you actually want to thank for something, then send it, right, by heart, right? Okay, that you like the interview process, um you know thanks for giving me this opportunity to meet with the industry expert, right? There was a good interview panel. If you want to actually thank them, right, then thank. But just for the sake of sending the formal thank you email, no, no, it's not required. Okay. Now, major and minor bug. So this kind of question they can ask that what is the major bug, minor bug, or it's like about what is the bug priority or the severity based on that, and what is blocker, right? So you should know, like, when we say it's a blocker means a kind of defect or the issue you got. Because of that, you are not able to perform your further testing, or a page is stuck somewhere, or you're not able to perform anything else, right? That is called blocker issues. Okay. Um, they can ask you about SQL foreign key, primary key, they can ask you, right? So practice about it. Join related queries, yes, it's very important. Types of join. So basically, see, there are some questions where you can impress the interviewer, right? So you should know about SQL. Any QA engineer should be good on the SQL part. If you think that no, no, it's not important, you are not right, right? So you should prepare about SQL part. No matter whether you are working as of now with the SQL or not, you should learn it, prepare it. And don't just prepare for the interview, right? Prepare for the job. Then your interview will be easy. Okay. So what I'm saying is you should know like what kind of job they're asking for, right? Or the market is asking for. What is the demand of that kind of job? Learn it, right? If you will just prepare for the interview, you are going into the trap that you prepare for the interview, then you give some answer, you don't give some answer, you are not confident, right? You sometimes blame to the interviewer that they're asking me wrong questions, right? It's not like that. They can ask you anything which is related to their job profile. Okay. Do we have to have thorough knowledge? Yes, why not? So somebody was saying that they were expecting that I should know this thing, I should know this thing. Yes, they expect, their expectation is very clear. They want a good candidate who knows different things. So we have to, mold ourselves in that direction. They can ask too many questions. They can, they can expect that. So thing is, question should be clear first of all, and your answer should be to the point what they're asking. Okay. So if they're asking about what are the status of the Jira ticket, then you should mention that the whenever the ticket comes to the Jira, it is a new status or the open, then it goes to the dev in progress, then it goes for the whatever is the status you are able to see in your sprint board, right? You have to mention it. Okay. Defect fields, okay, they can ask like what are the fields for defect logging. We can't blame interviewers, right? Understand from their point of view. They have to hire a person based on 1 hour conversation, right? So they will be asking all the questions possible, right? Because they have to send the candidate to the next round, right? They are not there to just cut you off, right? They want to understand about how much capable you are, right? They have their own ways to talk. They have their own ways to ask the question. That's fine. Every interview is not same, right? But the thing is, we have to understand from their, point of view. They have to hire based on just 1 hour conversation. So they want to know everything about you. It's like this, or whether you are a good candidate for them or not. Writing the test cases based on scenarios, they can ask you any question, like they can ask you write the test case or give some scenarios to test a particular thing. They can ask you. Mathematical question, puzzle question can come to check your analytical skills. They can ask you. Don't bother, right? About, uh, you know, don't, what we say, don't take it in a negative way that why they're asking me mathematical question, why they're asking me a puzzle, right? They can ask anything. No question is a bad question. So the rule is no question is a bad question, right? Whenever you are an interviewee or candidate chair, right? You have to be ready with any question. Right? Knowing and explaining in good way are two different things. Sometimes we know the things, but we are not explaining the thing in a good way, right? So we have to understand through our practices. You do more and more mock interview with your friends. Prepare it well. Sometimes we think that we are giving all the answer why they are not hiring us, right? But then we have to do retrospection, right? We have to do introspection that why it has happened, right? So don't get depressed. My point is know yourself first that okay, I did this kind of mistake. I have to explain it in a better way, right? Or and talk about with some of your friends that whether you're explaining this in a better way or not. Feedback process, different companies have different feedback process. Once you are done with the interview, they have different process to give you feedback. Some companies do not give the feedback at all. Some companies gives you the feedback, a general mail that you are not selected, we have selected someone else with better capability, but we will keep your resume for future references, right? So this kind of thing we can happen, right? But it's fine. Things are gone means gone. Thing is, you gave an interview. If you pass it, they will ask you for the next interview. Wait for 1 week. If they are not, replying you to your mail or your call, go ahead, move ahead. It's like this. Move on. Manual plus automation, agile process. So somebody's asked like the last question, what, different kind of expectation a company can have for different level of experience. So let me explain it. Actually, I did it already in some of my other session, but when you have 0 to 2 year, generally they want to know about whether you understand about testing process or not, communication skill, right? Those things they check, and programming, right? The thing is this, when you are 3 plus or 2 plus, let me make it 2 plus experience, they want to check whether you're good in, you know, test analysis, whether you are able to create different scenarios or not, your escalation, communication, right? Those things. Now the question is technical part. What other things the industry is expecting? Yes, API testing, you have to be good. SQL, you have to be good on SQL basics and advanced, right? Both the things. Practically, any of the programming language, right? And the automation, how to perform the automation. Let's take about, let's say 5 plus year experience. Same thing. So 5 plus means this is included plus extra thing I'm talking about, right? Plus thing is about framework design, right? CI, CI techniques. So when CI means you should know about GitHub or Bitbucket, okay, how it works, how you put your code, right? Jenkins or other, build tools, right? Those things, AWS or whatever, like Azure, right? Basic knowledge you should have. When you, and they will check for the leadership skill also, leadership skills, metrics, test metrics, right? Let's say for 8 plus year experience, they will check everything, right? So they want to check leadership skill, right? And how you communicate with different stakeholders, right? Those part, different project, different leaders, how you communicate with them, those kind of things, right? That's it. I don't want to talk about more experience as of now, but basic thing is this. Okay. Now the question is, what other technical things you know? So once you are 2 plus experience, this is the good time to learn different things, right? So you should learn non-functional aspect of testing. Let's say performance testing, you should learn, right? If you're good in already functional part, you should learn performance testing through JMeter, Roadrunner, or if you think you have developed any interest into security testing, learn it, right? It based on what interest you are developing. Okay, going back to some other question. So knowing and explaining in a good way are two different things. Okay, um, and somebody was saying that they're asking too much, means the industry is expecting too much from us, right? Now the answer is, it's logical. Why they are expecting too much from you is because they're hiring just 2 or 3 person in a team of 10 people, let's say, right? Generally, there are 8 to 10 person in a team, and there are 5 dev, the coder, and let's say 2 or 3 QA engineers. So now they have a product and they want to test it in different ways, right? Or kind of work, any kind of work can come related to API testing, any kind of work can come for to check performance testing, right? Any kind of work can come which is related to going to the database and checking something. Any kind of work which is related to automation can come. So they will be expecting you to be, good in all these things, and there is nothing wrong in this expectation. Domain knowledge. So this is very specific. Some companies who are working on a particular domain, right? And you have applied for their job, right? So as a QA or something, they will prefer the candidate who has some kind of business knowledge related to that, right? So it's very company specific, right? But there are other companies also which will hire you based on your skills, your you know, automation skill, your um, experience on the testing, right? Not just the domain knowledge, right? So we cannot generalize it that every company looks for the domain. No, it's not like that. So company questions varies from company to company, right? We cannot say that every company is asking this kind of question. How to check a candidate is good in automation or not? So that question was, so basically the company, what they do is they give some programming, right? Questions, right? Some data structure related questions they ask, right? And they ask you to automate a web page, right? Some kind of assignment they give to complete within 2 to 3 days. And they ask about UI testing, UI automation, like locators and all, right? So I'm not going to talk about those things, but what I'm saying is companies are checking based on your programming knowledge and the tool knowledge, both the things. Okay, that's it, guys, for today.